This is Moshe Rothschild, the Global Israel Alliance, bringing you the weekly update summary of the news from Israel for the week ending October 4th. And a special greetings to the Raskin family from Seattle, Washington, who are new to the news update. So, greetings. Okay, here we go. This week, President Mahmoud Abbas of the Palestinian Authority addressed the United Nations General Assembly, and here's a quote of what he said. Even if I had only one penny, I would have given it to the families of the martyrs, prisoners, and heroes, to which he received a round of applause. Of course, he's referring to the Palestinian program that we call Pay to Slay, which there are financial incentives for killing Israelis, killing Westerners, given to the Palestinians, and if they are killed in an act of terror, their families will receive salaries, stipends for the rest of their lives. So as Abbas said to the UN, even if he only had a penny, that's where his money would go. And he received a round of applause for that. Of course, we thank President Trump for the Taylor Force Act, which prevents the United States now from funding the Palestinian Authority as long as they continue to pay, terrorists. This week in Israel, before the Rosh Hashanah holiday, as usual, they gave the update on the population statistics in Israel. Drum roll, please. So right now, there are a little over 9 million people. There are exactly 9,095,092,000 people, according to the official census released by the Israel Central Bureau of Statistics, of which 75% of that 9 million plus are Jews, 21% are Arabs, and 4% are others. Maybe it's a good time to mention here that the Christian population in Israel is the only it's the only place where there's a positive population growth in the entire Middle East of Christians. Let's see, the average lifespan of males in Israel is 80.9 years, just about 81 years, and for women, it's just about 85 years. So those statistics were released this week. And the other story from this week, Rena Schnurb, if you remember, she was a 17-year-old who was murdered by a terrorist back in August, I think it was. And it was a roadside bomb. She was going on a hike with her father and her brother, and she was murdered in this attack. I am happy to report that her terrorists were captured this week, and all three of them were captured in Ramallah, part of the Palestinian Front for the Liberation of Palestine. In another story this week in the news, our Prime Minister met with Avigdor Lieberman of the Yisrael Beitenu party, trying to form a coalition government. Remember, the government has not yet been formed in Israel, and they met for less than an hour without any progress. Realizing that the talks were going nowhere, they broke up the meeting. So it looks like that right now, it seems to be that the option to go to a third election is going to be exercised. I mean, there is some more time really for some negotiation, but the Blue and White Party and the Likud Party so far have not been able to reach any agreement on a unity government. And the Blue and White Party cannot form a government. It seems that Netanyahu and the Likud are not able to form a government either. So it does look like right now that we actually may be going to a third election. As my brother-in-law said, Israel's the only democracy in the Middle East, and just to prove it, we keep having elections over and over. The A series of pretrial hearings in the corruption investigation of Prime Minister Netanyahu began this week. Netanyahu will not attend. He will be represented by his lawyers. Remember, this is not an indictment. It's a pretrial to see if the Attorney General will indict the Prime Minister. Netanyahu asked that it be televised. He was afraid that, with all the leaks and misinformation that would come out of the pre-trial indictments, but the Attorney General refused to agree to have it televised. This week, a 34-year-old female police officer was attacked by a terrorist in the Muslim Quarter. Luckily, she was very lightly injured, and they have captured the suspect. Let's see. We got one more story here that I'll share with you, a feel-good story for this week. They researchers at the Weizmann Institute of Science, it's kind of like our MIT, that and I'm blanking on the other name, the Technion. The Weizmann Institute of Science, they discovered a new method to keep bone cancer from spreading, which has shown promising results in initial studies in mice. This is very important because once the cancer has spread beyond the bones, it's practically impossible to treat it once it has spread to distant organs. So we are hopeful that there will be some even greater results and in the future on human trials. Anyhow, wishing you all a wonderful week, great Shabbat, and of course, this is the first Shabbat of the year since we celebrated Rosh Hashanah this week, the Jewish New Year. This is the first Sabbath of the week, so hoping that it's blessed and peaceful and restful, and we'll be marking in the coming week Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar, the Day of Atonement. So, wishing you all a wonderful Shabbat or a wonderful weekend, however you choose. And this is Moshe Rothschild of the Global Israel Alliance, signing off.